What's up, Richard? Simmons here. Well, December came to a close, and I, of course, saw lots of really good films and some not so great films of the month of December. Now, I didn't really see a whole lot of movies that I thought were stinkers this month. I only have only some films I thought wasn't so good, and some that I really thought was great. So, here is my official December 2025 ranking. To me, the worst movie. Now I saw about 22 films this month. Um, Number 22, the bottom on the list, the worst movie I saw in the month of December, James L. Brooks's El McKay. This was one of the most disappointing films I saw this year. I was really excited for this one. It was one of my anticipated films of that year. It was directed by James L. Brooks, the guy who gave us Terms of Endearment, the guy who gave us As Good as It Gets and stuff. Broadcast News. I had some really hopes for this one. It was just not so good. It wasn't all that funny. Wasn't all that charming. It's just a shame too because I do like the lead, Emma McKay. Who I like her on Sex Education. But yeah, it just wasn't all that good. Like, didn't care much for the characters here. It was boring at times. I'm like, okay, just didn't do anything for me. All right, coming in at number 21 is another not so good one, and that is the SpongeBob movie. It wasn't like garbage, nothing like that, but it was a little underwhelming. Obviously, I don't think it was as bad as Paramount's other anime movie this year, Smurfs. If I had to choose which you rewatch again between SpongeBob or Smurfs, I would choose Surfer SquarePants more. But it just wasn't all that great. I didn't really find the jokes clicking as much. Like, I don't know, I feel like SpongeBob isn't as popular as it used to be. Even My Dear, which was like, around the holidays and stuff, even My Dear wasn't really as packed as you expect. So, yeah, I mean, who knows if this will be the last SpongeBob movie because it did not do so in the box office, but we'll see. All right, coming in at number 20 is Merv. It's not like a great film, but it's just an okay little rom com. It's okay, charming here. I saw Zoe Deutsch from not Zoe Deutsch, Zoe Deschanel. My bad. Zoe Deschanel. From New Girl. Charlie Cox from Daredevil Born Again. Where of course like their beloved dog loses his spark after like their split, and they are forced into like the worlds of awkward co-parenting here, and it's okay. It's not like it's Amazon has put out some not so good stuff this month or 2025. It's not as bad as most of the stuff Amazon put out. It just it's just something that you'll just want to watch each Christmas. Something you could play on in the background and stuff. It got a little boring at times. I mean, it's not a bad film, just a little underwhelming there. All right, number 19 is Oh What Fun. I thought this was actually a really decent little Christmas movie, starring Michelle Pfeiffer, who plays Claire Clusser, who is this mother who you know who keeps like the family together for a family get together for the holidays. But after like playing a outing for them, they make the crucial mistake and accidentally leave her home alone. It's pretty much like, let's say in Home Alone, if instead of them forgetting the kid, Kevin, they forget the mother. That's what you really get with this one. And Michelle Pfeiffer, I thought was pretty decent. Dennis Leary was okay. Chloe Moretz, I mean, it's pretty decent. It's okay, charming, whatever. Ava Longoria was decent. Of course, directed by the Big Sick director, Micah Showalter. He did a good job with this one. Not a bad little film there. All right. Coming in at number 18 is My Secret Santa. Now, of course, this is a one of like Netflix's Christmas movies, which I actually did not thought was so bad. It is of course where like a single mom who needs a job, and at like a ski resort, they need like a Santa, so she's disguised as Sir Saint Nick. Very similar to, let's say, like very in the vein of, let's say, Mrs. Doubtfire, almost recent the show Chad Powers in a way with prosthetics and all that. And I thought the lead actress was pretty charming here. You do got one of the Mowry sisters. Tia Mowry was in this one. You do got Ryan Gold. I mean, I thought it was decent. It was charming and all. I thought it was an okay little film there. All right, number 17 is Daru Wimpy Kid Last Straw. Now, I gotta say, I do quite like the Daru Wimpy Kid animated films. I mean, I still prefer the live action versions, to be honest. Yeah, like the first three live action ones were awesome. I do actually prefer those a little more. But the animation ones has been pretty decent. Like I do quite like the animated stuff here. Of course, Last Straw is obviously another Christmas setting one. When like Greg, finds himself at odds when his dad's outside, pretty much out when of course his dad outsides expectations and pressures bills and he's afraid that his dad might send him to military school and stuff like that. I actually, though, and obviously it's also a father and son bond between the two. I thought it was pretty decent. It was charming. Jabari Banks, who played Will on Bel Air, he's actually one of the voices. That was pretty cool here. But yeah, I actually had a fun time at this point. It was a pretty decent, charming one there. All right, number 16. I was a little late to the party with this one. But number 16, I'm going with Newberg. Now, it did premiere in November, but I was a little late to the party. Didn't really see it until December. But I thought it was pretty decent, to say the least. Russell Crowe was terrific. Of course, you do got Remy Malek. If you guys don't know much about the story for this one, it is where like during post-war Germany, where an American psychiatrist must like determine whether Nazi prisoners are fit to go on trial for war crimes. And of course, like Russell Crowe's terrific, Remy Malek, Micah Shannon's great in this one. John Sari, you had Colin Hanks. It is a really decent film. Great, performances by everyone. It's such a good one there. All right, number 15 is another Netflix movie, and that is Goodbye June. Now, this was directed by Kate Winslet, starring Helen Mirren. You do got Gillian Anderson, Toni Collette, Johnny Flynn, Audra Riseborough. Timothy Spall was great in this one. It is where four siblings' lives change drastically when their ailing mother takes a turn for the worse here during the holiday seasons. And it is a really charming, touching film. Helen Mirren was great. Kate Winslet was terrific. It is a really decent film that will definitely put you in tears there. All right. Now, the last three I also got here are documentaries, really. 14 is The New Yorker at 100, which is, of course, a documentary about the famed New Yorker magazine. That was actually a pretty decent doc. 12 is Predators, which is a Paramount Plus documentary from MTV about To Catch the Predator. I thought that was a really decent documentary. Number 12 is Breakdown 1975, which is a documentary about movies from 1975 there. 1975 was a cool year for movies. All right, coming in at number 11 is Silent Night, Deadly Night. I had a fun time with this one. I mean, you got obviously a remake of the 1984 version. I really thought it was a really decent updated version. Rowan Campbell was really good here. Ruby Mano was good. It's such a really decent remake. If you guys haven't seen it, give that one a go. And now here is my official top 10. Number 10 is Bradley Cooper's film Is This Thing On? Of course, it stars Will Arnett, who plays like this guy whose marriage, shambles with his wife, played by Laura Dern, and he faces middle age crisis amid a pending divorce. And so, of course, he decides to find his act by doing stand up. It is a really nice, touching, or charming film here. Will Arnett does such a good job. Andra Day, Laura Dern, Bradley Cooper, some really good cast members. It is really decent. Love the stand up comedy stuff. If you guys haven't seen it, give that one a go. All right, coming in at number 9 is The Secret Agent. The Secret Agent, of course, starring Wagner Moore. I thought it was a really decent flick here. It takes place in 1977's Brazil, where technology specialist Marco, fleeing a mysterious past, returns to recruit like a search of peace here. Wagner Moore, if Timothy Chalamet doesn't win the Oscar for Marty Supreme, I could easily see Wagner, upsetting him. He is really solid in this one. Definitely does such a good performance here. The director was good. Sadly, this was also one of the last movies featuring the late German actor Udo Kier. It is a really decent film. If you guys haven't seen it, give that one a go. All right. Coming in at number 8 is Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Of course, this was a follow up to Five Nights at Freddy's. I know it was a really decent follow up, say the least. I had a fun time with it. Josh Hutcherson was pretty fun in this one. It didn't get the best reviews though, but I still had a fun time with this, say the least. I mean, it's not a movie that's going to appeal to everyone, but it was a really decent installment, and I cannot wait for part 3. Matthew Lillard was also great in this as well. Number 7 is Anaconda, another movie that critics didn't really like, to be honest with you, but I still had a fun time with it. It was really fun. The action, and humor was really cool. I really quite liked the way the snake looked. Fun cameos. The chemistry with Jack Black, Paul Rudd was great. Tanry Newton, Danielle McKellar. It had some good cast members in this as well. It is a really fun one. Number 6 is The Housemaid. I thought The Housemaid, of course, based on a very popular book here, directed by Paul Feig. You do got Sydney Sweeney. You also do got Amanda Seyfried. I thought it was a really decent little thriller. Crazy twist of turns here. Brennan Scanall was really decent. Definitely I thought it was a really good one. I really had an interesting, fun time with this. All right, coming in at number 5 is Song Sung Blue. Of course, Song Sung Blue is based on the true story, where two down on the luck musicians form like a Neil Diamond tribute band here, and of course you got Kate. I did do my top 10 favorite movies of the year. This was actually in my top 10. It's really terrific. Hugh Jackman, Kate Hudson's great, Ella Anderson's terrific. King Princess, you got Michael Imperioli, some really good cast members. It is a really good one. If you guys haven't seen it, give it a go. From the director of Hustle and Flow, really excellent film. Cool music as well. Cool, interesting, true story. So, well worth watch there. All right, number 4 is Avatar: Fire and Ash. Avatar: Fire and Ash was a really good installment. I don't think it was as good as the other two I met, but I quite enjoyed it. Way too long that I should have. I would admit. Sam Worthington was of course great. Zoe Saldana, Sigourney Weaver, Una Chaplin. I thought was terrific. I thought it was a really decent one. And whether we get another one, who knows? But I'll definitely be down for another one. All right, number 3 is Wake Up Dead Men, Knives Out. Of course, the third and final installment of the Knives Out franchise. I know it was a really decent way to end things off. We'll probably get more down the line, whether it's Deers, another streaming, who knows. But I still thought it was really decent. Glenn Close was great. Daniel Craig. You also do got the likes of Mila Kunis, Josh Brolin, Jeremy Renner, Kaylee Spanning. The list goes on and on. Great cast. If you guys haven't seen it, do yourself a favor, go watch it. It is a really good installment. Again, it's not as good as the first two Knives Out movies. I still think the second one is a tad bit better, but I still quite enjoyed it, and it was a really decent one there. All right, number 2 is another film that was in my top 10 favorite of the year list, Jay Kelly. Jay Kelly, of course, stars George Clooney, Adam Sandler, directed by Noah Baumbach. Also, the aforementioned Laura Dern's in this, Billy Crudup. It's sort of like this, famous movie actor Jay Kelly embarks on a journey of self-discovery, confrontation, and of course, obviously, he is accompanied by his, manager here, played by Adam Sandler. The chemistry with George Clooney and Adam Sandler is terrific. The script dialogue's really good. The ending with George Clooney just looking at his own films was really decent. I know it was an excellent watch. I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, give it a go. I do hope Adam Sandler gets an Oscar nomination, but we'll see. And my number 1 favorite movie of December is also my number 1 favorite movie of the year, too. Number 1 is Marty Supreme. Marty Supreme is terrific. Timothy Chalamet, or as Sandler calls him, Chalamet. Gwyneth Paltrow, Odessa Zion. It's such a good one. Josh Safdie did a great job with this one. Whoever knew a movie about ping pong could work out, but it's definitely had a little bit of that Uncut Gems feel to it, that bit of After Hours feel. It's such a good one. Great performances all around. From like Timothy Chalamet to Gwyneth Paltrow to Odessa Zion. Kevin O'Leary was okay. Abel Ferrara, some really good cast members. It's such a good one. If you guys haven't seen it, do yourself a favor, it's still in theaters. Highly recommend it. But that's pretty much it. Here's, of course, my quick rundown. 22, Ella McKay. 21, SpongeBob Search for SquarePants. 20, Merv. 19, Oh What Fun. 18, My Secret Santa. 17, Diary of Wimpy Kid Last Straw. 16, Nuremberg. 15, Goodbye June. 14, The New Yorker at 100. 13, Predators. 12, Breakdown 1975. 11, Silent Night Deadly Night. 10, Is This Thing On? 9, The Secret Agent. 8, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. 7, Anaconda. 6, The Housemaid. 5, Song Sung Blue. 4, Avatar Fire and Ash. 3, Wake Up Dead Man. 2, Jake Kelly. And number 1 is Mario Supreme. Now, I also did saw like a re-release of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, but I'm not really counting re-releases in my list, to be honest, yet, because those aren't obviously new movies. Those are just re-releases. So I'm not really counting like re-release type stuff. But anyway, let me let you guys. What was some of your favorite and least favorite movies you saw in the month of December? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. This is Timmy Siren.